Hi, I'm Carl Bearden, the Executive Director of United for Missouri, and we're glad to be joined today by the Speaker of the House, Tim Jones. Thanks for joining us, Speaker Jones.
Carl, great to talk to you again. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Well, you know, the DOR scandal, and I believe that's absolutely, probably even a mild term to use for it, of collecting and who knows how they're using our personal data. In direct violation of state law has been going on, and the more you learn, the worse that it is. So I know the House has taken some issues and some positions on, have some bills. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Thank you, Carl. You know, that issue has been, I think, shocking, and that might also be an understatement as to the information that we've learned about this situation, that the Department of Revenue, in not just having some wiggle room here, but in direct contravention of state law, has gone above and beyond anything they're supposed to be actually doing in serving the people of the state of Missouri. And they're co-opting our private information and sending it into some black hole of a registry somewhere. And many of us are concerned it's going into the Eric Holder gun registry. And this is an issue that violates not only our Second Amendment rights, but our rights to privacy. And our fear is that once you start trampling on one right that you may or may not disagree with, where does that slippery slope end? Right. And so we've taken very aggressive action here in the People's House, and we've filed 3 separate pieces of legislation almost immediately after the scandal broke. And those bills, I am moving rapidly through the system to address this, as well as addressing it through the budgetary process.
Right. So, you know, people are just becoming aware of this. You know, started with concealed carry permit with the gentleman down in Stoddard where they required documentation not required by law. I mean, all the law requires on the concealed carry is you have the certificate from the sheriff saying you qualify for concealed carry. They ask him for a birth certificate and so forth, and when he wouldn't produce, they wouldn't produce the concealed carry. So all of those things are very important. So people are just learning about this, and they're just learning about the impact on them. So how would you tell them? How would you describe to people why should they be concerned?
They should be very concerned because this seems to be a pattern of this current administration, of the Nixon administration, where their tentacles seem to go down deep into the bureaucracies of all the agencies that are supposed to be using taxpayer money wisely. Right. And what we've learned is there's apparently some connection between the Department of Revenue and the Department of Homeland Security on the federal level, a connection that is not allowed by law. Right. In taking this private information and, like I said, sending it into some registry potentially somewhere. So again, people's Second Amendment rights are being violated and their rights to privacy. There's 2 leaders in our state that have failed to speak and address the people and respond to these allegations. And that's Governor Nixon and Attorney General Koster, who's supposed to be defending the laws of the state. I'd like to know where both of those gentlemen are and what they feel as far as the issue of whether or not the rights of Missourians are being violated, which they appear to very well be. On the surface, it appears to be a prima facie case of a violation of constitutional rights.
Well, and it looks very clearly a violation of state law, as you say. I mean, so it doesn't seem to be a lot of fuzz on it. It's just a matter of getting the answers out of DOR, which they have not provided any credible answers. So, you know, and Governor Nixon has taken, as you know, with Mamtech, when he made the statement that he doesn't run the Department of Economic Development. So as far as I know, I guess we need to buy him the little Harry Truman, the buck stops here.
That's right.
For his desk. So, you know, so you all have taken some action on the budget. You reduced. We've interviewed Representative Richardson. He talked about the reduction that he made. The Senate is very hardcore adamant that they're going to make significant reductions in the Department of Revenue budget until answers are provided and this thing is resolved. Is that something you think the House can support coming over like that? Absolutely.
And because the Department of Revenue is already violating existing state law, we're concerned that no matter what piece of legislation we file, maybe they'll ignore that as well, which is really unconscionable and unbelievable. So, as you know from your years working on very hard on the House budget, the way to really get the attention of a bureaucrat is to start taking away their pocketbooks. Right. That money belongs to the taxpayers, and if it's being improperly used in an unconstitutional manner in direct violation of state law, well, then perhaps they don't need the funding and the ability to do so. They're working on things that are improper. They should be working on their proper role under state government as allocated. So, yes, we will take a hard look at whatever the Senate sends back to us. We made an initial cut. We're happy to follow up with whatever the Senate does because, as you pointed out, it's usually the only way to get a bureaucrat's attention.
Right, right. So, you know, and that's going to be important, I think, is because you all get, people outside this building don't understand the amount of information you all receive in this building. And so it's hard for you to get the answers that you're looking for on behalf of the people of the state. what does Joe Citizen do? How do they get those answers, and what can they do to do about this?
Carl, it's a great question. You know, you're right. This issue has risen to the fore, and it seems to be in the media every single day. But we deal with hundreds, if not thousands, of different issues every single year in the Capitol. There's some major pieces of legislation moving through. There's some great groups like United for Missouri that you head up, along with many of your other folks that do the groundwork, that are the eyes and ears for the people. Your organization, United for Missouri, really is the eyes and ears for the taxpayers here in the Capitol every single day, day in and day out. I would suggest that folks jump on your website, subscribe to your emails. I'm a member. I receive alerts. I sometimes learn things from you that you find out from the other side of the building or from the governor's office. It's very educational. It's very useful. It helps their voice be heard.
All right. Well, thank you, Speaker Jones, for spending the time with us and your efforts here, and we look forward to getting a resolution on behalf of the people of Missouri, and so thank you for your work.
We will keep advocating for the people. Thanks,
Thank
Carl.
you.
Thanks very much.